Hello students, in this video I'm going to be analyzing and then diagramming the first sentence from Lesson B of Chapter 8, which is on page 152 in your book. And let me also just start by saying two things. One, this is a pretty complicated sentence. We started off with sentences that just had subjects, verbs, and maybe an adjective or adverb. But look at this now. We've got lots of different words in there. It's in the form of a question. So give yourself a pat on the back for getting to more complicated questions. And then also, let me just say, I do not really like this sentence. I don't quite understand what it means. Is a Johnson's window a frosty picture frame? How can a window be a picture frame? I don't understand how these two things would be equal to each other. So I think this is kind of a garbage sentence, if we're being honest. But let's go ahead and analyze it and then diagram it anyway. So what is the main thing that we're talking about in this sentence? There are 8 words, but there's one that's actually the topic of the sentence. And what is that? That would be the window itself. The window is the thing that we're focused on. And what do we have to go with? Is there an action that the window is doing or some other predicate verb? No, we're comparing it to something. Is the window, which of these, is the window a frame? So that's the question, is if it is or not. But if it is frame describing window or is it renaming it? It's renaming it. It's saying that the frame is the window. You heard me saying the word is there. There's our linking verb all the way at the beginning. So the linking verb, window is frame. Again, sometimes it's hard in the form of a question to find the verb. So if I just reworded this and made it a statement instead, it would be, the Johnson's window is a frosty picture frame. Now it feels like it makes more sense for the verb to be there. That's when it's in the form of a question. And there's no helping verbs in this one. So if I have my linking verb, my subject, and my predicate nominative, it's time to go through and find any adjectives or adverbs. What is the describing? It's describing which window. So the is an adjective describing which window. Johnson's is a possessive noun, which means it's also an adjective, and that's saying whose window we're talking about. So that means it's also an adjective modifying window. A is talking about how many or which one. A what? Is it a frame? So a or a is an adjective saying how many frames? A frame. It's not multiple frames. Frosty would be what kind of frame? So frosty frame. And actually picture as well would be what kind of frame? It would be a picture frame. All right, this is a complicated enough of a sentence actually, and just because I think it's kind of awkward wording, that I'm going to go ahead and just diagram it normally. Remember when we diagram this line that goes all the way through, that's to separate the subject portion of the verb, of the sentence, excuse me. And then over here, this is where the predicate goes, and the verb is going to be on this side too. So the subject of the sentence is window. The verb that comes after that, there's only one verb, that's the linking verb, which I will capitalize. Is, and there's no helping verbs. There's actually no adverbs either, so I don't have to leave too much room. Now I'm going to have a predicate nominative over here, which means I need a slanted line instead of straight up and down. Straight up is for direct objects, but that slanted line is for frame. My predicate nominative. Adjectives go under the words they describe, so underneath window, I'm going to have the, as well as Johnson's. Remember, this chapter we're focused on possessive nouns, so it feels a little bit odd to put a noun on the adjective portion of a diagram. That's because it's possessive. And then frame, we'll get A, Frosty, and picture. And I actually forgot to do this before. I'm going to put the question mark here so I can remember that this, because if I don't have that question mark here, the capitalized I is a little bit of a reminder, but I've lost the information that this is a question. Without that in there, it looks like I am just saying window is frame. So the capitalized I is a hint towards that, but we also add punctuation if it's not a period. If it's a period, you don't have to add that to your diagram, but question marks we typically do add. All right, 3 more words for you guys, or 3 more sentences for you guys to do, as well as page 153. Thank you, and let me know if you have any questions.